the owners of the forest, the legal owners of the forest, are the forest departments. But with FRA, we're trying to make the communities the owners of the forest land that they have been dependent on.
Many of the indigenous people don't necessarily have the right documents or don't have the right papers. And this is an issue that they are facing even with the Citizens Amendment Act, which has been a very big issue here in the region. We come from a very verbal, oral society where everything is based on oral assurances and respect. And that's how systems work.
During 2008, what they had done was the forest department decided that this is the piece of land. There are about 100 tribals. So this land was divided into 100 pieces and given to them. So there was no proper verification done. There was no claims being actually filed. Sometimes the people wouldn't even know where the land right was. Sometimes the land right was given so far away that it was difficult for them to commute to that land right to actually make it usable or productive. There is one misconception with FRA that it is a welfare act. So I want to first clarify that it is a governance act. It deals with the governance of the forest. It deals how we safeguard rights. It grants rights, not land ownership. It gives ownership rights and not distributes land as such. FRA gives about 14 rights and only probably 2 or 3 of them are land rights. All the others are related to customary rights. We have safeguarding from rehabilitation, protection of IPR, traditional knowledge. So all that is kind of lost in translation. So yes, the people of Tripura welcomed the act thinking it's a land distribution scheme. So they thought land is going to be given to them for cultivation, for sustenance, for habitation. But it was never conceived as an act that gave them rights over forest. It's their forest and it's there for them to govern the forest. It was also seen amongst all the forest department people, the tribal department people, and the ones at the block level, subdivision level. Sometimes they don't even know that there is a community forest rights also being given. They don't know there's a Form B, there's a Form C. They only know about Form A. There are no powerful civil society groups or civil society movement in Tripura. Not even bigger NGOs that work directly with the tribals. So I think that way the tribals lose out on a lot of information and awareness gathering that could have happened. There is one set of tribal communities that live inside the forest. There's also non-tribals, SCs that live inside the forest. There's also a huge Bengali migrant population that lives inside the forest. And there are always clashes between these. There are a few pockets where some SCs have been given rights, but majorly they have been for the scheduled tribes. Clash is not for culture, but it's for the resource. The legal owners of the forest are the forest departments. But with FRA, we're trying to make the communities the owners of the forest land that they have been dependent on. They decide how they will extract the resource, who will access the resource, when the resource will be accessed, how are we going to price it to sell it, how much can we extract, also enterprise development. So with that, they will become the managers of their own forest resource. Of course, initially they will require some form of government support and the FRA recognizes that. FRA is a central law and forests come under the concurrent list where the state and central laws both apply. And FRA is not derogating any forest law. And I think it's very enabling in a way that it is open to interpretations. Though it doesn't have a mention of shifting cultivation as such, which was disappointing in a way. I think it's time to find out, to get over it and find innovative ways to actually include that in the ambit of FRA. And also, instead of including a specific clause in FRA, we should look at amendments of the state laws. Because once you add a clause in the law, it will be applicable to the whole country. So instead, why not have state laws? And state laws will be better in a way because state will have a better understanding of their own culture and the social political environment. But for that, what is required is the will and the proactiveness of the government at the state.